Hello, everybody. Guess who this is? It's Andrea. Well, I thought I would jump on and say hello to everyone. I hope everyone had a safe and fun and excited holiday weekend, this last past weekend. I also want to take a moment to think about the families in Texas. Very tough tragedy. Really, really sad about what happened, there in Texas. So my heart and prayers go out to the families, the children, the loss of life. Very, very sad. And of course, we have a lot going on in this nation, this country at this time. But just wanted to come on and chat, spend a little time with you guys. I have a nice homemade popsicle, what's left of it, that my neighbor made. It was so good. It had yogurt, strawberry, I think also honey. And this is so good. I'm going to actually, she sent me the recipe, so I'm going to make some myself, some nice, healthy, homemade choices. So it is so good. Really good. I love living in my building. I mean, most apartment buildings I've ever lived in, people are usually pretty. Neighbors are usually pretty supportive. Supporting when they can be. So I'm grateful for where I live. I feel comfortable. I feel safe. We look out for each other. What I mean by that, if somebody's missing the action for a few days, they're like, have you seen Andrea, Little Chanel? And so somebody would do a wellness check. And so it's just nice to walk outside my apartment, into the common area and to see a friendly face and like, hi, how you doing? People talk. You always have at least one person, usually a guy, that tell all the business. They let you know what's going on in the building. So anyway, I love where I live. Really nice community, and neighbors look out for each other. I have one particular neighbor. Sometimes we go out, we walk together and go get coffee or just, do a little, spend a little time with each other. So she's the one that made this ice cream, and a lot of times she'll go buy something. She's like, Andrea, I just bought a watermelon. You want some? I'll cut you a couple of slices. Oh, Andrea, I just bought some strawberries. Oh, I just made this cake. And so she's real good about that. And a couple of times I made a recipe and shared it with her. And actually this week, one of my friends, sometime when I have time, I'll make homemade lotions or lip balms, things like that. And so actually this is my birthday month, but I wanted to share with some friends. So one of my friends had been asking me to make her some lotion. She said it really helps her, the sole of her foot, her feet. And so it's all homemade. Think shea butter, coconut oil, jojoba oil, beeswax, which keep it, together, make it thick. And then a couple of essential oils. And so I'm going to make, and then you mix the water and the oil. Is like, you got to be real careful so that they can kind of blend together. So I'm going to make that for her. And then I'm going to try to find a recipe online to make veggie burgers. Basically, it's maybe black beans. So she's a vegetarian like me. So I'm going to find a nice recipe so I can make her some veggie burgers. So I'm going to show her how to make lotion and gift her a lotion. And then also make her some lunch. So we'll do that together. So I try to, do things, show my appreciation for people. Some people you show your appreciation with, and you can never do enough for them. They said we can't we can't satisfy a selfish person. Trust me, we can't, because I've been that selfish person sometime, and the person trying to satisfy me, it never worked because I was just selfish at the time. So some people, no matter what you do, is never good enough, and that's okay. Those folks I don't do for, or it's very little, because it's not gonna make a difference. And not that I do things to get accolade. That's not why I do things. I just do things from the kindness of my heart. I've pretty much always been like that. But it's some people, it's just not worth it. Anyway, so I'm enjoying my ice cream. And then another thing I learned in school is that making videos and stuff, you're supposed to use unlicensed videos. So I'm actually playing some music in the background, and it's free background music. It's unlicensed, so I can play it. I feel safe, and I didn't even know that existed. I mean, you would hear things or see things like something about this music is not. This music is not my music. So I'm playing some free background music. I found it on YouTube. So when I do my hi Jermaine, how you doing? I'm trying to figure out if we relatives, because I know you got that Coleman last name. So I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to reach out to you one day to see if we related. But anyway, good seeing you. I always at least have one person that is watching my video until people trickle in later on to kind of watch what I'm doing. So I'm enjoying some ice cream. It's all melted. My friend, I don't know if you can see it, my neighbor made me. It's really good. Healthy too. But I hope you're doing all right. I be seeing your videos you be posting. I'm not on Facebook like I used to be, but I try to jump on at least once or twice a week. Mostly here lately, just to try to give some relevant content that I feel like I can use or other people can use. Again, there's a lot going on regarding cuts to Medicaid. Just reminding people that a lot of times this stuff is not going to happen overnight. The media would make you think like, boom, it's going to happen tomorrow. But no, these things going to take time. And a lot of people think because they may not be getting Medicaid. Let me see what you wrote. Oh, good seeing you too. I'm going to have to reach out to you one day. We probably are related. There's a lot of Comans out there. So with Medicaid, people think, well, I'm not getting Medicaid, it's not going to affect me, or I'm not getting Medicare, it's not going to affect me. Yes, it is. It's going to affect us all, because what's going to happen is that a lot of these hospitals that get subsidized through Medicaid, and the doctors take Medicaid, the hospitals take Medicaid, that is money that they're no longer going to get. So that means that it may affect their staffing, the equipment that they buy, the services that they provide. Some hospitals may shut down, especially the hospital that's in the rural area. So it is going to affect us a lot. You take care too, cousin. I think. And so, yes, Medicare is going to affect us all. But again, this is going to take some time. They said it's going to be over a decade that it's going to affect everyone. But this is what I'm doing. So if I know Medicaid or Medicare is going to affect me, like say for instance, I don't know, maybe they're helping me pay my Part B premium, which is $185 right now. So I'm going to make sure that I stay within my budget. I make sure that I'm not racking up debt. And, you know, I'm paying attention to my monies and my spending. So when that deduction comes, whether it's $100 deducted from my check or $200, then I'm going to be okay. Because I'm not $200 over, because I have a lot of credit card debt. So this is a good time for us to pay attention to credit card debt. You know, pay attention to if you're helping your parents, you know, paying attention to making sure that they, They do their recertification, because some people got their parents that send these care facilities, and so they need to know how it's going to affect their benefits, and to make sure that they continue the care they need to make sure they recertify. That's where they're going to get most people, is through the back door. So making it difficult for people to do their recertification for like Medicaid, because people don't understand that Medicaid, especially the higher end Medicaid, because there's different levels of Medicaid, people don't understand. And so some people get waiver programs where the Medicaid pays for them to be in an assisted living care house, a residential house where they have like 4 to 6 other residents, and maybe their parents are in there because they have dementia or Alzheimer's, because the level of care is just too much for them to manage, so they have to put them into some type of care facility where Medicaid pays for those care facilities. Medicare don't pay for that. And so if they don't recertify every year, then they could get misplaced. They may have to move because they have no other way of paying. And so, and again, like I said, even people that's not being affected, maybe they don't have Medicaid or Medicare right now, we're all going to be affected because, you know, it may be through emergency room services, you know, being in the emergency room longer because now people don't have the proper insurance, so they're utilizing the emergency room to get care. Or the hospital costs may go up because they're no longer getting that Medicaid dollars. And so Medicaid pays for a lot. It pays for, you know, sometimes it helps with subsidizing premiums. Like I said, Medicare is not free. It costs $185 this year if you're under $200,000 for Medicare. And if you're 65 years old, you have to get Medicare unless you're still working, because some people are 65 years old but they're still working, they're not retired, and they still have credible coverage through their employer, and you have to prove that. You can't just not apply. Everybody has to apply at 65, but if you have credible coverage, then you have to fill out a couple of forms and you have to prove that and send that in to social service, because social service is the one that collect the money for the premium, the $185, and that's just a premium. That's not, we're not talking about co-pay, things like that. So a lot of people are going to be really affected, and you know, and the only suggestion I have, I just try to be mindful of my spending, literally, and I've always kind of been like that in general, just being really mindful about, you know, even if I'm doing some traveling, just trying to cut some costs however I cut it. Like a lot of time I'm on public transportation. It's not like I don't have a decent car. I'm just not willing to pay more than what? I don't want to pay no more than $100 a month towards putting gas in my car. And a lot of times it's like really $80 because I hardly even move my car because I'm on public. So, you know, I can't tell if you're online, Lois. I see your face. Hi, Lois. Hi, Lois. Good seeing you. So I'm on public a lot, not because a lot of reason where people may think, which I really don't care what people think, but a lot of time I'm just not willing to pay hundreds of dollars to put in my gas tank. There you are, Lois. I see you. I see you. Good seeing you. I can't remember if you just had a birthday or not. I can't remember. But anyway, so I ride public because, again, I don't have to worry about parking, which costs money. I don't have to worry about gas, which costs money. And I don't have to worry about craziness, which can cost you your life. And so I can just, hi, how you doing? I could just get on the public and just relax, you know, read a book, pay attention, people watch, you know, maybe enjoy the cool air on the bus. There's so many different reasons I take public, but those are some things I do to cut my monthly cost. So if I'm saving hundreds of dollars taking public, That means I can take me a nice little trip somewhere, maybe a day trip, and have a nice meal, or jump on Amtrak and go to Santa Barbara. I can take those monies and use it somewhere else. So it's not like I'm not spending it. I just don't want. I just personally don't want to waste money, and then I'm not a shopper, so you know I'm just not a shopper. That's money I save in that way. I'm a vegetarian, so literally I can probably live on like under $50 a month on grocery, because there's a lot of stuff I don't eat. So there's so many different ways that I cut costs. So moving forward, because we know these changes are happening, this is not a time for me to be afraid. Because first of all, unless I get a notification from someone saying this is going to be a change, I'm going to try real hard not to worry about it, because I'm learning that I already worry unnecessarily, so I don't need to add more worry to my plate. And so unless I get a notification, or someone gets a notification that I'm helping, then I'm not going to worry, because it's going to take time for these changes to happen. But again, you watch the media, they make it seem like it's just going to happen, boom, right now. And that's not true. It's going to take time for these policies to become permanent or temporary or things like that. So again, some of the things I'm doing is just watching my spending, make sure that I'm staying on top of my certification. Sometimes I help them with their certifications, because that's where they're making a cut. Because if you think about it, like if somebody is Medicaid is paying, I don't know, maybe $100,000 towards somebody's care every year, and that person is not getting services, that means that's $100,000 that the state is not having to pay out, because the person is not qualified, or they're not doing a recertification to receive services. So there's different ways that they're making these cuts. Again, you guys heard about the work requirement. Again, I want to say, I could be wrong, that they said they're not going to really start the work requirement. Some states are already doing a work requirement, meaning you have to work so many hours in order to keep your Medicaid. I don't know, maybe it's 30 hours a week, maybe it's 35 hours a week that you have to work in order to continue to get Medicaid. But some states, it's not going to really take effect until I think sometime 2026, 2027, something like that. Everybody just have to kind of stay on top of everything, and try to get your information from the first source, whether Social Service, Social Security, or Medi-Cal, and not get it through the news, because a lot of time the news, they just reporting news. They really don't understand these systems and these services and these agencies. They give you the worst news. They'll say things like, oh, they're cutting Medicaid, and then everybody is in a panic. But they don't understand that there's policies. So just, I watch the news to be informed, but I don't allow it to dictate what's going to happen in regards to any services that I'm receiving. So just make sure that people are doing a recertification, because if they don't, then that's how they save money. But it's gonna affect a lot of people. But again, I have no control over policy and procedures. Only thing I can do is try to do the best I can only do the best I can do. So what I can do in my household is, again, pay attention to my spending, not take anything for granted, always have a plan B. I taught my son that for years. Always have a plan B. And even the buses and trains is a plan B for me. I don't depend on other people. So my plan A is, Andrea, there's X, Y, and Z you can do for yourself. I'm capable of doing certain things for myself now. So I'm going to do what I can for myself now. And then my plan B would be my public transportation. And like, I don't think I've ever really, maybe a couple of times I've asked people for rides. But so always have a plan B. Same with, disasters, invasions, whatever, just do what you can do. But at the end of the day, I can do all this planning and God forbid I walk outside, boom, I'm out of here. So only thing I can do is be mindful. You know, I have a lot of things going on in my life right now, and some challenges, and I have to constantly remind myself, okay, because sometimes I want to go into savior mode, or I want to go into it is a word for it. I want to go into a mode where I feel like I can fix stuff, and I have to remind myself there's nothing I can fix. The only thing I can fix or have control of is just 1 second. This is this moment right here. That's all I have control over. I don't know what's going to happen in the next 5-10 minutes. I don't know. So I have to constantly remind myself of that. I haven't gotten it. I'm not going to get it, you know, but I have to remember and remind myself that I can only control so much. I can only do so much, you know. I clean my household first, and then I extend. I don't do for others and then do for myself. That's ludicrous. Of course, a lot of us has been taught that, and that's why a lot of us is stressed the hell out or angry and bitter, because we're constantly doing for others and we're not taking care of ourselves. So before I do anything, I make sure I get up every morning. I take care of Andrea first. Do everything I need to do for the most part. I would say at least 95% of the time. I take care of me. If I have time, if I have the mental, emotional, and I can emotionally and mentally help someone else, I'll do it, because you can physically be able to help someone else, but mentally you may have a lot of stuff going on in your own life, and you just can't be there for the person mentally. So I just make sure I check in with me first before I reach out to help somebody else. Because trust and believe, if I'm out there helping somebody else, you best believe Andrea's taking care her household. When I leave my house, things is pretty much in order. I don't leave my house and it's not in order to go help somebody else, because I know it's only going to take a matter of days before I'm frustrated, angry, and upset. And although it may appear that I'm frustrated, angry, upset at the person, I'm really frustrated and angry and upset at myself, because I didn't take care of myself first. There are so many things that we were taught, because, you know, our parents taught us what they were taught. But I know a little better that I have to take care of myself first. And again, taking care of myself is just making sure I pay attention to, you know, my spending, and not take anything for granted, and not get hyped and upset because what's going on in this world. Because if you just look back, so many people, if you put it in perspective, so many people have been able to get through these challenging times. I mean, you think about all the wars we've had. You know, I mean, like, people somehow we were able to get through it. It was tough times, but we were able to get through it. So we will get through this as well. It may be tougher, but we will be able to get through this as well. We just have to be very mindful. There's a lot going on with people, you know, families, things like that. But, you know, it's tough. It's tough. I got a situation going on right now. I mean, I wish it was better, but I mean, I don't have no control over it, and I'm not, you know, I'm not going to let somebody mistreat me in the process of it. So I have to, you know, make sure, again, I'm taking care of myself mentally, emotionally, and physically. Because sometimes people are not happy in their own life, and they trying to transfer that energy to you, and no, you're not going to do it. And that's with growth. That's years of counseling and therapy and tools they've given me, and great thinkers and leaders and spiritual leaders and everyday folks, you know, feeding me some wisdom. Hi, Miss Nia. I see you, pretty lady. I see you. I'm sorry, I haven't been in group in a minute. I know it's been a minute, but I see you. I see. I don't know if you were in South Carolina, but wherever you was, it was beautiful. I could see the water was just beautiful. It's so good to see people out there traveling. Lois, I know you go see your son. You know, Jermaine, I know you out there traveling. It's good for us to get out. We need that, people. We need that. And some people are so envy and jealous, and they're either envy, jealous, or they trying to compare. If I'm sharing my experience, I don't need competition. I'm just sharing my experience, and so it's good for people to share their experience because it's real helpful. To see people out there. I don't know, taking a walk just to their mailbox, or taking a walk around a corner, or taking a drive to see a family member, or a friend, or a lover, or whatever. It's just good for us to just get out. We need that. Because life can be challenging. That's what life is. I mean, there's no escaping it. There's nothing bad, anything bad about it. It's just a matter of me learning how to manage getting up every morning, trying to live life the best I can. And sometimes I get up and I'm not, I may be sad. I may be troubled about something. These are normal human emotion, and it just kills me when I have my super Christian folks try to make it seem like because you have a relationship with whoever you believe in, that you're gonna escape the horror of or the troubles of this universe, and that is not true. That is not true. We're all gonna suffer. But it's how we manage it. How do we get up and manage it? Childhood trauma, adult trauma, relationship trauma. We're gonna experience those things, but it's like, how do we deal with it? How do we learn to manage those things? That's the key question, because we're gonna go through it. There's no escaping. So it just. For me, I think it's hard for me to talk to someone that's like that than to talk to someone that they're sharing. They're not giving us all the tea, but they're sharing that this is how I was able to get through it. And they move on. I mean, I think about one of my ladies that's on here. I mean, she have her challenges and she's doing what she loves, Miss Nia. So even though you have your challenges, you just get up, you do the best you can, and some days is easier than others. But I find when I share, then more people are willing to share with me. And when people share, it's like, wow. When I hear people share their stories, it's like, wow, I'm not the only one going through this. And it helps. But if I'm talking to someone like, oh, you're delivered, and if you're not delivered, and if you don't believe in X, Y, and Z, then you're going to hell in a handbasket, and that's crazy. And if people need to look up what they're studying and who they following. You'd be surprised of the people that we're following. People need to do some history. They need to do some history on what we study. But I contribute a lot of the wisdom that I do have from just being open to different culture, open to different religion, open to different spiritual path, spiritual leaders, great minds. I mean, all that wisdom. You cannot get wisdom from one entity or one person, and from my perspective. And so because I've been so open, it has helped me a lot navigate through life. And even if I forget at that moment because I'm stressed out, I can reach back and remember something I heard. And sometimes I get up every day and sometimes I will purposely maybe turn on the TV, or I'll take a walk, or I'll listen to the music, knowing that whatever it is that I need to hear, I'm going to hear it at that moment. And that moment, that word of wisdom may get me through just that one day. Because I get up expecting that whatever I'm going through, I'm going to get the hope that I need to be able to persevere through a situation. And you know, and it works. I mean, it can be a girlfriend I'm talking to. Sometimes I have friends I can be honest with, like, I'm going through this situation, and I know that they went through it because we're friends, and they'll say, Andrea, you know, consider X, Y, and Z. They don't tell me what to do. They say, Andrea, consider X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, wow, thank you for that. And because they went through it and they don't mind sharing it, they share with me. But sometimes people don't want to share because we're trying to keep a certain image. And I've done that before. I mean, not very often, but you know, sometimes you're in a situation where you're doing the best you can, and your kids is falling by the wayside in a handbasket. Is like, and it's a reflection of who you are. But I just got to remember that, you know, we all have our path. You know, I have my path as a parent. My child has his path. You know, when my grandbaby get a certain age, she gonna have his path. And sometimes, you know, it's embarrassing, you know, when we're going through changes, whether with family or kids. But I can't be embarrassed. I have to remember this is just part of my experience. You know, my whole experience. And so sometimes life get tough, sometimes life get lonely, where you feel like you're going through something by yourself, but there's so many people that's willing to share and be honest about their experience and not pretend like a person is like perfect. I've been in a situation where, you know, you talk to people and you think their kids was God. Like, their kids ain't never did nothing wrong. You know, a lot of time parents will talk about their kids' accolades. Oh, my son is this, or my daughter is this and this and this and this. And they live vicariously through their kids. And I don't know. I mean, I would have to admit that's something I've never done, because I've always been the underdog, you know. I've been in families where, I've been in a situation where one person would get compared to another person because this person didn't achieve what this person achieved. And I think that's just so wrong for parents to pit their kids against each other. That's like so wrong. And maybe it's easy for me to say because I only got one child, but I know when my son took on the profession he has, half the people didn't even know what he did because it wasn't something I talked about, because that's not my story. I mean, you know, that's my son's story. You know, that's his life and the things that he accomplished, or the things that he's working through. But sometimes you with people, and it's like they constantly talk about their kids' accolades, and they're just living their life through their kids. It's almost like I don't have a life, so since I don't have a life, then I need to live my life vicariously through my son. That's the way I see it. And I was literally at a event for the 4th of July weekend, and this guy was talking with the guy that gave the event. He was an attorney, and so I don't know if he felt like he had to make it seem like this, but anyway, he was talking to an attorney, and I think he had like, I don't know, 3-4 kids, and he was like, oh yeah, my son just got his law degree, and this son is in college and he getting this degree. He wasn't really sharing about himself. He was sharing about his kids, and I don't know. I just, you know, when I'm dealing with people, I try to just, if I'm comfortable, if I feel safe with that person, then I just try to talk about, you know, some of the things that I'm doing or some things I'm working through. And I'm trying to get to know the person I'm with. I'm not talking about my son to that person. I'm talking about me. Because I want to know if that person want to get to know me, Andrea, whether it's a girlfriend or a guy friend or a lover or whatever. I want to get to know that person, but a lot of people talk a lot about their kids as though their kids don't make mistakes. And I don't talk about my son But I don't say he a saint at the same token. I mean, wrong. If you wrong, you wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. So, you know, sometimes people know their kids, they ain't right. And they're like in total denial. Just like total denial. And I thank God that that's one thing that he's helped me with through therapy, is that I have to see things the way they are, because there was a place in my life where I couldn't be conscious, because the situation was so painful. I couldn't live a conscious life, because if I lived a conscious life, it probably would have killed me. I'd probably be in some institution. So at the time, I had to live unconscious, meaning I couldn't see what was really going on, because it would have destroyed me. So I lived an unconscious life. So consequently, as a young girl, a young adult, a young woman, I learned to live my life unconsciously, because I couldn't bear living conscious during that time. And so now I'm having to untrain myself to say it's safe to live conscious. You can see what's going on right now. And if something is not safe, something don't seem right, something don't seem healthy, then Andrea, you need to address it. Because now I have the capability of doing that. Before I didn't. I was just trying to survive. I wasn't trying to be conscious. I wasn't trying to see what was going on. I was just trying to just make it. You know, I was just trying to make it through the war zone, or, you know, make it through Vietnam or whatever. And so I'm constantly having to remind myself it's okay for me to be conscious. Get up every morning. Try to be conscious. Pay attention to your dog. Pay attention to how many spots and circles and color that's on your dog's coat. Pay attention to the trees and the flowers, and, you know, just trying to live a conscious. And that's really challenging for me, and I have to. And I mean, you know, you guys, I'm just rambling all over the place, but this is some of the wisdom I get. And so I was just in a situation, a relationship not too long ago, where the person, very, very nice person. I've learned so much from this person. But I started to notice some things that just wasn't quite right. And a part of me is like, okay, do you hang in there because you got somebody you can hang out with, you can do things with, or do you deal with these things? Because if you don't deal with it now, you know, I don't got 3-5 years to give nobody. So I had to start really consciously paying attention to what was going on. And so I had to consciously make a decision to move on. And that was tough. And nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. I have my flaws and things that people have to deal with, but there was some things that just wasn't sitting well with me. And so I addressed it, but I've learned in friendships and relationships, you cannot change a person. Man, I spent so much time trying to change and fix a person. No, I don't have time for none of that no more. So I said, okay, you got a couple of choices. You need to see what's going on. If you don't like it, then you need to address it with the person. But you can't change them. And if it still keep coming up, then you need to make some decisions. And sometimes I think we don't want to see things, because if we see things for what they are, then we have to make these decisions. And the decision may be a decision where, you know what, you may be by yourself, you know, for a minute, or you may not have this benefit for a minute, but you got to see things for what they are. So, and I think for me, I think the universe is like a school for me. To me, I think the universe brings situations into my life, and this person was so much like somebody else that I knew, like literally they're twin. So it's almost like,
hello, Moto.
I'm sorry for that. I'm not gonna answer that. So I'm realizing, so I'm like, why is these situations still coming up for me? So to me, I think the universe is saying, you know what? You ain't got it. You ain't got it, girl. So I'm going to keep bringing this up until you can flush through this. And so what I realized, that it was a reminder that, for one, you got to look at the facts. You got to see reality for what it is. And if you don't like something, you have to do the hard work to figure it out. And so every time this situation comes up, it's more practice. And each time the practice gets easier and easier for me to do what's right and beneficial to me. And so it really wasn't about the person. It was about refining me. Like, you need to remember that if these things come up, then you need to address them. And it's also a reminder that you cannot change the person. You cannot. I can't even change my damn self, let alone somebody else. You can't change the person. And you just need to let go, because sometimes what you cannot handle, somebody else may have the skills or the ability to handle certain situation. And I'm just not willing at my age to give too much time to anyone. I don't care if it's a best friend. If a best friend is being, disrespectful, or the energy is not good, I don't have time to be trying to tell that person that. I need to look at it for what it is, and I need to make a decision if I'm going to have this person in my life or not, or am I going to have this person in my life for a little while. Do I want this energy? So I'm at a place where no, I'm not doing this unless I'm getting something out of it. Sometimes we stay in a situation because we're getting something out of it. I think I stayed in a situation because I was getting something out of it. Maybe some companionship, maybe a free movie or a dinner. I'm being 100 for real. But in the back of my mind, it's like, I'm not going to do this for too long. So that's what I mean by the tools that I've learned in therapy, or I've learned through everyday folks, or, great minds, or turn on the TV one day and boom, somebody's talking about, a situation. And so, I try to really pay attention to the people that I'm around. They say that the less friends you have, to me, you're more wiser, because you're just not willing to just deal with any kind of thing. And I'm one of the type of person, I really try to pay attention. If I see people in the hallway in my building and they talking about X, Y, Z, I'm not dealing with them, because I know that if I'm not around, they're going to talk about me. And that's just the kind of energy they have. That's just the kind of energy that particular person have. And it's not for me to try to teach and train and help them work through that. No, that's not for me to do. That's for me to see that person for who they are. This is how they showed up. And then I make a decision how I want, if I want that person in my space. And so that's what I try to do on a daily basis. Is just really try to pay attention to the people that I'm around. And if they're doing certain things, that they're always got this negative talk about other people, like this is what I would do if I was them. Well, you ain't them, and they not there to even defend themselves. So if I hear people saying things like that, then I'm not. To me, that person's not safe. They're not safe. Hey, Georgia, I'm gonna have to call you. Because I'm going to be in your neighborhood soon. I'm going to have to call you. So, I don't know. I'm ratting and raving and all over the damn place. But, I don't know. Sometimes I just like to share what people have shared with me. And then, the wisdom that I get. And when I'm talking, I'm listening to myself. And so back to my point. So I was talking about the cuts that's going on right now. So instead of me focusing on all these different cuts, then I try to also focus on what can I do to be a better me. And me being a better me right now for me is just paying attention, knowing that it's safe for me to be conscious. It's okay for me to see things for the way they are, because I'm going to be okay. Like I said before, some of us was not always in a safe space. Maybe sometime raising our kids, not always having them in a safe space. So I'm in a safe space right now, meaning emotionally, you know, and that can change any moment, anything. I mean, I can get a phone call, and something can change like that. You know, I can stand up and I can drop to the floor. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. But for right now, my goal is to be conscious. Speaking to someone that may watch this video later, is just to wake up every morning and just to be conscious, even if it's scary, to be conscious. Like I said, I got situations going on right now, and it's like, sometimes I feel like I want to rescue and save and be a that's what I wanted to say, codependent. Codependent is not good. That means you're always trying to fix and rescue people. No, I have to remind myself, no, I'm not here to be a codependent. That person have the will and the right to get up and do healthy things for themselves or unhealthy things for themselves. And I got to stay out of grown folks' business. Okay? I had to learn that through a book I read called One Day at a Time at Al-Anon. That's why I'm talking about these different resources. And so One Day at a Time at Al-Anon teach you, stay the hell out of grown people business. Let them do what they need to do. If it's going to lead them down a destructive road, there's nothing you can do. But I used to always try to fix and save and protect and block all this stuff, all this energy. And none of that matters. I mean, only thing I can do is just try to be emotional support, and, pray for my strength and, pray for them. But at the end of the day, people gonna make their own decisions. Our kids gonna make their own decisions. I made my own decision. I can tell you so many times where people are like, Andrea, you shouldn't do X, Y, and Z. I did what the hell I want to do, and I dealt with the consequences behind it. But that's just the way it is. People want to have their own. They want to experience their own experience. So, sometimes I just try to listen to people. I just try to listen. Because people don't want you. They don't want your advice anyway. They really don't. A lot of times they don't. If they want it, they'll take it and they'll use it. So there's so many things we can do. So instead of me worrying about what the current administration is doing and worrying about this and that, I can work on being a better me, paying attention, being conscious, staying out of debt, enjoying my life. Because at the end of the day, all I got is me, and I'm going to enjoy my life. People live in fear, and they pass that fear on to you. Oh, you shouldn't be doing X, Y, and Z. Well, anybody know anything about me? I'm pretty feisty, and usually the feisty people, they stay around a long time. If it's something I want to do, I'm going to do it. I try to be conscious, like when I'm on the bus, trains, and public trans. I pay attention. I just recently got me some mace. I carry, just in case, carry me a mask, carry me some other things, try to be conscious, pay attention to my surrounding, do the best I can, and just trust that I'm going to be okay. Just trust that I'm going to be okay, and then use it coupled with common sense. So again, you guys, all we can do is live for the day. All I can do is listen to the news, be informed. Don't let it control me. Whatever it is that I need to do, just continue to ask for the strength I need to persevere. Because some days, like I said, some days it's hard. Some days I need to do X, Y, and Z, and I just don't have the mental capacity. I'm just like, I'm like, I just don't have the juice in me. And I just pray, God, give me the juice to do what I need to do today. You know, whether it's filling out some paperwork, whether it's, you know, doing some volunteer work, or just sitting still. Just give me the juice that I need to do what I need to do today. So anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. I done talked enough, but I'm trying to get on like twice a week and just chat it up with you guys. I follow you guys most of the time on Facebook. I haven't been on Facebook as much because, again, school. I'll be finished with this summer semester next week already. Start back up in August. So between that and, you know, trying to be healthy, active, it's good. I try not to do too much of anything because I don't want to burn myself out, because then I'm not going to be a pleasant person to be around. So I try to keep it balanced. But just hang in there. If you're already doing it, just be conscious. Be conscious. Pay attention. Pay attention. Going on in the world. Going on in your world. Well, it's good chatting with you guys. Thank you, Lois, Nia, Georgia, and my cousin. He already dropped off. Thank you, guys. Share my videos. Until the next one, have a great day. Bye.